So I'm Yoni, I'm the CTO of SmartX, and we have Eugene, or Eugen as some people call him here. He's one of our senior product managers in charge of operations. So today we will try to demonstrate our real-time management solution for RDS, Citrix, VMware, basically any end-user computing environment. All live demo, no slides. Well, maybe one in the end. No.
Although
no
said
slides.
no live demos. Remember that guy in Rome?
Yeah, but actually it's I think we're doing it over a 3G connection from Eugene's iPhone, so crossing fingers. So it's going to work like so much for personal example, right? Okay, so it's going to work like this. So everyone, I know there are quite a few newbies to E2EVC. So everyone who's the first time attending and asking a question during the demo will get a prize. And this is a very educational prize. It's a vodka or a tequila. Depends on your taste. It could be either consumed immediately, which I recommend it, or save it to the networking beer event, right? Your choice. Obviously, if someone you know is already in and still asking a very good question, will also get a prize. So do ask questions. You know, it's as Alex mentioned, this is not Synergy. This is not VMworld. This is not even Dryform. It's much more, face-to-face, in-person conference. This is the third time we're doing this. Really enjoying it so far, and hopefully we'll have a live discussion. You know, keep throwing questions, anything relating to the product, relating to alcohol, whatever you want. Just speak up. Right. So you're seeing on screen. This is ControlUp. This is the product we are developing for the last 3 years. As I mentioned at the start, this is a real-time management solution. Designed for the sysadmins, for the guys actually managing the end-user computing environment. This could be RDS. Actually, you can see this is a live demo on a lab back in SmartX. So you can see the folders there on the left side. Those are basically the logical structure of the environment we're managing. And one thing that you can notice immediately is the fact that we can manage on the same console multiple environments. So this could be either Citrix environments. We support both Legacy XenApp 5, XenApp 6.5, and Desktop 7.5, everything. And obviously Microsoft RDS, VMware View. I think we also have a few instances of the new Horizon 6 beta. You know, VMware are now supporting RDSH. So we have some beta servers in and they're already working with ControlUp. So everything can be managed directly from the same console. Now again, since this is not Synergy or some kind of consumer customer event, we figured we'll do the demo and show you how ControlUp can serve consultants, right? Experts. So guys who are supporting multiple customers, guys who are doing projects at large enterprises. So trying to show you how ControlUp can serve you guys as SBC VDI experts and help you do your projects, impress the customers, find some issues, and on the way, obviously, help us spread the word on ControlUp to the customer base, to the community, etc. So we'll try to kind of highlight the main advantages for a consultant. And again, the alcohol is waiting, so keep those questions coming. Right, so I think the first thing I should mention is that ControlUp is super easy to deploy. Okay, it's not like some other of the monitoring solution you're familiar with. We are not requiring any local databases, no virtual appliances, no databases, right? It's a very simple procedure. Just download the console. This is a single executable. It's a portable executable, actually. You download it from a website, launch it on any management endpoint. This could be your laptop. This could be a XenApp server, whatever. And just adding computers. That's it. You see the add computers button over there? And Eugene will show it to us. Yeah, it looks like this. Automatically, it basically queries the LDAP servers on your domain and shows you a list of all the available objects. You just choose the relevant XenApp servers and desktop VMs, RDS, you name it, add it, and that's it. They will appear on screen and start showing you data and enable you to manage your environment. The only prerequisite is basically .NET 3 or higher at the target device, which obviously you should have them already because you have Citrix or VMware or whatever. So super easy deployment, don't forget that. Now, once you finish the deployment, and we have seen guys doing in less than 10 minutes adding like 100 XenApp servers in here, you start seeing things, right? And this is the main, our core feature is the real-time performance views. So this is the ability to see what's going on in real time, do some sorting, drill down, troubleshoot performance issues. Just to show you some of the stats we have on screen, we have a few views in the product. This is what we call the computers view. So in this view, each line on the grid is basically a single managed computer in ControlUp. Right? And we display statistics like OS version, you know, how many CPUs are installed, all kind of static information. But obviously beyond that, we display real-time performance data, starting from simple things like CPU usage, how many users are connected, disk metrics, network metrics. And we also support specific vendor metrics, either Citrix, VMware, Microsoft. So Eugene, if you can focus on one of the Citrix files, for example, you can see that once you're focusing on a specific folder, the column set is changing dynamically, right? And we start displaying specific vendor information, like in this case it's a Zen desktop farm, so we have you know, group name, catalog name, is MCS is out of date. We can show you the PVS vdisk file name. You can make sure everyone is working with the same image. And obviously the relevant performance metrics in real time. Right, so a lot of information, and I think it's really helpful. You see it, you know, all screen, and let you can get a very quick overview of what's going on in your environment. So we have a lot of columns available. We have a lot of views. Maybe, you know, to start to warm up and show you a very simple use case of, you know, once you fire this up, connect to your environment. I'll show you a quick use case how you can find, you know, a specific user who might be causing issues in your farm. Okay, so right now we're focusing on the XenApp 6.5 farm. We're seeing, we have the stress level column. You see the column, the leftmost column there. This is the kind of the health index of each object in ControlUp, right? So it could be none, it could be low, or obviously could be critical, meaning that the object is currently under stress. And the concept behind stress level is similar to the load index, or you know, XenApp load back in the days, where we kind of aggregate a few performance metrics like CPU, memory, could be more advanced stuff like disk queue, like XenApp server load itself, and we show how those metrics affect the object. And obviously you can customize the thresholds, you can customize the weight of each metric on the overall stress level, but once you spend a few minutes with it, it's a very you know, real-time index, a very meaningful index to showing what's going on. So we have the XenApp 6.5 farm. We can see that the farm itself is on a critical stress, and this is because I configured my demo lab to say, listen, if we have more than like 7% of servers that are themselves in critical stress level, then you know, kind of propagate that to the entire folder. And you can play with the numbers, but this means if you have like a farm with 100 XenApp servers, and from your point of view, if more than 10 servers are currently stressed, this should affect the entire folder, and you can get obviously an alert on that, and you know, get like a real nice UI telling something is wrong. So we have the farm in a critical stress, and we can see immediately the single server, it's TSO2 in this instance, who has a CPU issue, right? It says 1% CPU, a very basic demo-friendly issue. So we have the other server. We can see we have 11 sessions on that, and obviously a lot of products can tell you that, right? You have a server, 1% CPU, that's nice. But let's see how we start to differ from some of the other basic built-in monitoring solutions. So first we can, you know, double-click the server. We can drill down to the first layer, and this is obviously the user sessions layer. So now we are seeing on screen, we can see the overall server, you know, on the upper side, but below that we can see the sessions list. So we display in real time all the user sessions currently logged on, and the sessions themselves include some very important statistics like CPU and memory usage for each session. We can show the latency, currently ICA latency, in the next version we support view latency. RDS latency is a real mess, we couldn't figure it out yet, but working on that. So ICA or view latency, CPU, memory. We are going also to provide in the next release the disk I/O metrics for each session, right? So in this simple case, we see a single session. This is actually Eugene user, and he's the one causing the CPU issue, right? We can see this session is causing the entire CPU stress on the server. So we can drill down further. We can see what's going on. Double click on the session, and this is another drill down to the actual processes or applications this user is running right now. So we'll obviously see the, you know, CSRSS, WinLogon, WFShell if it's Citrix, etc. And obviously the user applications. Right? This could be Office, CRM, ERP, whatever. And again, for each process we display in real time really valuable statistics. So anything from CPU memory all the way to I/O. We show real-time I/O usage per process, which is pretty cool, and I'll show you why in a second. But again, in this case we see a very, I guess, demo-friendly example. We have a single iExplorer Microsoft world-renowned browser causing a CPU issue. Okay? Quite a common scenario, I guess, and most of you have seen it before. The thing is, it's very nice to see that. So we, saw the entire folder, we drilled down all the way to a single process. But sometimes you want to know exactly which browser window is causing this issue, right? It might be a valid intranet site, but it could be a Facebook, which is also valid, but some enterprises don't really like that, or anything, right? And this would be any Windows application. Maybe it's an enterprise ERP application. You want to find out which application screen is the one causing the I/O, CPU, or memory issue. So for this, we have another, I guess, drill down level, and this is the get session screenshot action. So we can always right-click a problematic process or user session and execute something we call get session screenshot. And this is a great feature for spying on your friends and on the CEO, and stuff like that. But also, it allows you to see the end users can get kind of a behind-the-shoulder look on what the user is doing right now without him even knowing that. Obviously, based on your privacy policy, you can play with this. But right, this is the output of the actual get session screenshot action. So this is the end user screen real time, and we're seeing Alex's homepage causing a CPU issue. Not surprisingly, I guess. So, right, so now it's a very busy schedule. Right, so this is, I guess, the full cycle of a very simple real-time performance troubleshooting thing you can do with ControlUp. Right, so I'm getting up and running real quick on my customer environment. Again, less than 5 minutes, I can have my entire Zen app farm, Zen desktop farm, whatever. Seeing issues all the way from the data center layer, drilling down and seeing actual application screen causing the issues. And that's instant value for the customers. We have, some nice stories about that, guys fighting performance issues because sometimes, especially in end-user computing environments, performance issues tend to be sporadic, right? You all, I guess, know what I mean. It could be like 1% for one minute and then it's dropping. And the native or some of the third-party solutions, sometimes they fail to spot that, or they have trouble, letting you know in the right time what happened. And if you know you have a performance issue and you kind of sit in front of this for a few minutes on peak times, you can very quickly identify the specific modules or browser windows that cause a performance issue. Okay? So any questions on what we've seen so far? Yep.
So when you find a window that's kind of stuck, can you kill it or can you do anything with it, or is it just information?
This is an excellent question. Deserves tequila?
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a great question because the answer is yes, you can. This is ControlUp, and this is actually the second thing I want to kind of show you. It's not a real-time monitoring solution only. Again, it's not EdSite, right? It's not EG Innovations. Those are excellent solutions. This is a real-time console for the end user to actually operate his environment. So you can obviously see things in real time, but additionally you can act. So Eugene is showing you the available action list for a process. This is what we have, and obviously we have kill process, end process, whatever you want. You can do it gracefully, and you can use PSKill to, kind of bring the hammer on that process. We also have other stuff for processes coming up in the next release. We are entering sorry, absence, we are going to add the kind of CPU throttling option right from here. So if you see a process misbehaving, instead of simply killing it, which could be too, I guess, aggressive, you can throttle the CPU. And this is coming in ControlUp 4. So yeah, we support full actions from the console.
And you can also, just one more thing, you can actually script any action, any PowerShell script or VBS or CMD, you can convert it to ControlUp action and build an action on your own. We're going to talk about it a bit later, but just to mention it right now, you can actually build your own actions for any object you see in ControlUp.
Yeah, we'll show it soon enough. Just a sec, yeah.
It's a portable web, so it will run on any box. But how do you need specific rights on the endpoints that you monitor?
We obviously, it's a very, I guess you say, it's a very powerful tool. So by default, if you're not configuring any security policies, which I'll show you in a sec, the basic right you need is admin rights on the target device. Right? So the ControlUp is doing a behind-the-scenes, very basic check that the Windows user running the console on your management PC or whatever is actually a member of the local admin's right on the target device. It's a basic seed, stuff kind of check, and only then you're able to connect to the endpoint.
I think that was a good question.
It was a good question. Feel free to drink it now. I'll do it in 20 minutes or so, or you can leave it for a toast after that. Yeah, one more in the back.
you had a connect to remote via.
No, I'm kidding. Sorry?
Why not also PowerShell remoting session?
So,
If you right click on the PC over there,
yeah,
you had an option to connect through a remote desktop.
yeah, that's right.
Why not PowerShell remoting?
That's actually a good feature request, which is a great opportunity to show you the feature request. But, so, this is a great, one of the reasons we are, sorry, Alex, you have to bring in this, it's too far.
What?
You have to bring the guy, the brother, it's time.
See my face of this guy?
Yeah. So, one of the reasons we attend, those, yeah. What was the name over there? The one with the tequila? He's too busy reading the... Jeff. So,
He remembers tequila, but he doesn't remember Jeff.
yeah. So as I mentioned in the beginning, we really like those E2EVC kind of conferences because we get feedback from the audience, and this is one of the reasons I'm here, to get feedback from what's missing, any interesting column. PowerShell remoting is great, so kind of right-clicking on computer, and in addition to remote desktop, do a PowerShell remoting or a command line or something. So we'll try to add that for the next release.
But actually, any user can, like I said before, any user can add their own actions, and it will take you about a minute and a half to build an action that opens a PowerShell remoting session to that computer. It will take you a minute and a half to build it.
Yeah, so again, unlike most traditional tools, which come kind of, they are very close, right? So if you want a new feature, you have to contact the vendor and wait for like 2 years or something if it's Citrix. In this case, maybe it'll show the screen, right? So we have just, right-click on a computer or something before that. Let me show you what we can do for the computer object. It's quite impressive, I think. So we have a bunch of built-in actions. So you've mentioned remote desktop. We have a nice shot. We have obviously refresh group policy and all the basic things any sysadmin wants to do out of the box. We have some more advanced tool we can show you in a moment. But in addition to that, we have the script-based action feature, which is a bit new. It was released like 3 months ago. And this enables you to extend anything, right? So anything that can be scripted, PowerShell, VB, batch scripts, this can be added dynamically into the console. So just click on the script-based action icon. We'll show you the wizard in a sec and show you how it looks like. Yeah, Claudio, right? Yeah.
What sort of delegation you have on the console?
Be careful, because the first thing he says, this is bullshit.
This is a very good question.
Just with a console that everyone has, I may have administrators that I want to be able to...
He's carrying your bottle already. You can stop short. Remember one thing, guys. With those guys, whatever you take as a proposal to implement the feature, they do it very, very fast.
Yeah.
So if you come up with some really brilliant idea, once they are sold out for hundreds of millions, just come up and say, remember that idea.
We promise a lifetime supply of alcohol to the, anyone. Well, cheap alcohol. Cheap alcohol. So you ask about delegation, and it's a fair question.
Someone, for example, to be able to run scripts on a server, but I wanted that guy to be able to queue processes for like a user.
Yeah.
So granular is that on your console.
So this is a very, actually Eugene is showing it right now. So we have a built-in feature called security policy. It's a full permission delegation model, very similar to the Zen app console, where you can kind of tag which actions and views you can give to each custom admins. So it's in the product here, you can see it right now. We basically offer you the ability to delegate any management action, including the one you create, which is pretty crazy when you think about it, right? If you create a new action, it will automatically appear in the list of actions you can delegate. So you can create a very powerful script, delegate it only to the very trusted help desk advisor if you have someone, which is pretty rare, or you can delegate it to the computer guys, whatever. So full permission delegations, this includes views as well. So you can, if you are managing Zen Desktop and Zen App, you can give the Zen App group views only to the Zen App folders and ability to run specific action, etc., etc. So it's built in. Yes, someone there wanted to ask? Another one you want to? Okay. So I promised to show you the script-based action UI. Okay, so we have very extensive list of built-in actions. Let me quickly show you how it's a very advanced feature. So I want to quickly go over it and show you how you can create your own management actions. The main idea behind this is kind of to allow you to expand the built-in the built-in management stack in ControlUp, but it's also great for delegation purposes. So if you have a very powerful script that you're worrying about handing off to some not so trusted guys in the IT, this is a great way to do that. And obviously simplify script execution, and I'll show you why. So if we click on new, obviously this is the way to create a new script. We give it a name, and we have some advanced concept in there. We have execution context, we have security context, so we use the power of the platform, which is agent-based, obviously, to allow you to run a script, for example, inside the user session, or on a folder, or using a security context based from the user running the console, or based on the security context of the agent. So a lot of options to executing and running the script. And the script itself, as I mentioned, we support both PowerShell, VB, and batch. So again, you simply choose the object you want to run the script on. This could be a computer, a process, a session, whatever. You paste the actual code. We support, again, all three major scripting languages. And one other thing we do, we support built-in arguments. So you can obviously do any arguments you want, but the cool thing here, remember all the real-time views you have seen, all the metrics, all the statistics like OS version, CPU count, CPU, disk I, whatever. All of those metrics can be fed to the scripts as arguments. And this could bring up some crazy ideas, like, for example, if you want to execute a PowerShell script on a bunch of servers, but only on servers that have more than 50% CPU utilization, you can do that. Or if you want to do something only on idle sessions or idle for more than 30 minutes, you can do that, right? Only choose the session object and feed an argument, and on the argument screen, simply choose the idle session, idle session field. That's it. So very powerful feature. We have lots of examples online. We actually have a community library for that, and this is another cool thing. So we as a vendor, and obviously any ControlUp admin who creates a new action, can share it to the community, and the result, after we sanitize the script, obviously, the result would be this script will be presented on the community section of the script-based action. It's currently not on screen because of some networking issue here, but by default, when you open ControlUp and go to the script-based action section, you will see another tab called Community Actions Library, and it includes, I think, already something like 30 management scripts, so Citrix scripts, Microsoft scripts. Actually, one cool thing I can show you is you see the IE URLs there, the first one. This is a community script. And this is a bit similar to what we've seen with the get session screenshot, but not so intrusive. And in addition to that, the get session screenshot has some limitations. It only works if the session is in the foreground, if it's active. It's an API limitation. So if you have a session where you don't want to get the actual screenshot, or you have any other limitation, you can use the IE URL script-based action and execute that at any iExplore or Chrome or Firefox instance, and the output will show you the actual Windows title or the actual URLs the user is looking at right now. Right? So you can quickly correlate again performance issues or any other configuration issue to the actual URL being used right now. Okay, Eugene is showing you right now, this is the output screen. So whenever you execute a script-based action, you get a really nice output screen with all the script outputs, the exit codes, duration, basically anything of interest. Okay, so we can see some of the very interesting blank screen. Thanks, Eugene. But this is part of the demo, right? Live demo. That's what you get. Oh, here we have a crazy user browsing in Wikipedia, maybe causing issues. I don't know. Have to mind those Wikipedia users. Right. So any questions on the script-based action section, the management section? Anything you think is missing? You want to see there? Any ideas for a nice script?
About security, in your introduction you said it's easy as a consultant to use in different environments. But did I understand correctly that the account you are using the application with needs to be a member of your target local admin group?
Correct.
But how, as a consultant, can I use it in multiple domains then if I work on a standalone laptop?
Yeah, the answer is yes. And first, while I answer this, I have to get you this. So the answer is yes. Basically, each environment is usually a customer Active Directory first, is a separate ControlUp organization. Organization is similar to a domain or a farm. This is the set of configuration, the static configuration of your environment. So obviously, if you're a consultant, and let's say you have a laptop, you have the executable there and the C greatest admin tools folder, and you launch it, then if you're on a workgroup, the first screen you will see is a prompt asking you to type in the domain credentials of that specific environment. And only after you input them, assuming the customer trusted you with an admin account, which I guess is the case for all you non-German guys here. So you can type it in, log in, and you will see that specific customer organization and have those rights. And when you switch to another environment, you obviously have to relaunch the console and put in the relevant AD credentials for that environment. So you can use it in many locations, but each of them will have its own configuration and security rights.
And where is the configuration stored, and are the credentials encrypted?
So the second answer is yes. Yeah. The credentials themselves, if you're saving them, they are kept locally in the app data folder on an encrypted XML file. Okay. The actual configuration, this is interesting, the actual organization configuration, by default we have what we call online mode or enterprise mode. This means the console itself is running locally, but it connects via HTTPS or SSL to our cloud backend infrastructure. We have a cloud backend servers and Amazon Web Services. We have a Go cluster in the US and Europe, England. And basically we store encrypted organization configuration in there. Right? And this helps us give a lot of value to the customers. So zero deployment, lots of ControlUp admins in the same environment can share the same configuration and work with an enterprise console without configuring local databases. Okay, so again, the basic customer of us will have his organization configuration in the cloud, in a secure cloud database. We have all the security details if you want later. And the actual credentials are obviously locally in an encrypted file. We never store credentials in the cloud. We also support an offline or standalone mode for organizations that don't have an internet connection, and we are still seeing some very large finance organizations, something like that, and they can work offline or standalone without a connection to our cloud servers. But then obviously some features are missing, like central configuration. So each admin will have his own tree. They can obviously share the XML file, but I guess it's less convenient. But again, some customers require that. Someone else ask that?
Yeah, I had a question regarding the actions that you referred to. So since you're running this as a standalone application, do you have to run to trigger? I see that you have something called an incident trigger. So obviously when you see something wrong, you have a script that fixes it. But this application has to run at all times then.
Yeah, okay, this is a very good question. So you have two battles, because it will allow me to present. Your question allows me to actually present two concepts I haven't shown you so far. So first one is the incident triggers, which I'll discuss in a minute, and the other one is what we call a ControlUp monitor service. Okay, so starting ControlUp 3.0, which was released in March, we have, in addition to the console, which, as you mentioned, those are interactive user sessions. So as long as you're running it, they're running. But if you leave your station or close them, obviously no monitoring. So to overcome this, we have a component called ControlUp Monitor Service. It's a code very similar to the console with two major differences. One, it doesn't have the UI component, and secondly, it's run as a Windows backend service. Right, so it's a Windows service running 24/7, connected to your entire managed computer population, and keeps recording events and sending email alerts and doing all the 24/7 monitoring stuff. Okay, so keep that in mind. We have the monitor component, we have the consoles, and to facilitate most of the advanced monitoring actions besides real-time actions and drill downs, we have the incident triggers. And those are, I guess, very basic concept of monitoring. We basically allow you to configure configuration rules, or what we call incident triggers, to detect issues in your farm. So, a service is crashing, you can get an incident, log an incident. If a computer goes down, you can log an incident. And because we are ControlUp and we have a lot of, fine-grained details on your environment, we can do some more in-depth and cooler incident triggers. For example, you see the stress level type here. I can create an incident trigger that will monitor my environment constantly. And anytime a specific application is crossing a pre-configured stress level, I can log this as an incident, right? And it will give you two advantages. One, I can get real-time alerts. So whenever, for example, Outlook is crossing the critical stress level because it's consuming too much CPU, memory, I/O, whatever, I can get a real-time email alert or a mobile app alert, basically any alert I want. And in addition, we are logging all those incidents to a database. And you can later use our incidents viewer, which Eugene is currently loading right now. You can see all the historical incidents. You can see how many times Outlook crossed the stress level. You can see why, which metrics caused that specific application to actually stress. One cool thing I want to show, right? So this, what you're seeing here, this is a list of all the historical process-related stress incidents. So whenever a process, this is a generic rule, so not a specific application, anyone. So whenever any application in my farm crossed the pre-configured high or critical stress level, we logged it here. So you can see how many times each application caused issues. And just for example, notice the 4.1 there. I think some of you will find this process familiar. This is one of the major vendors' agents. No need to mention names. And what we found that, we can actually show you, if you go back to the previous screen, Eugene, and can you load the counter column? In this, I think, very valuable screen, you can actually group this group based on, for example, the counter. This actually means you can see which counters, which actually bottlenecks, is it CPU, memory, or RAM, is the one causing process stress in your environment. So you can see in my list, and this is, we only have a NetApp in our lab, we don't have Atlantis or something, so we mostly suffer from I/O issues, and you can see that very clearly here, right? So most processes suffer from I/O related issues. And you can see the top processes are suffering or actually creating those bottlenecks, right? We have the process we discussed earlier and some Microsoft process we all like. You can see them in here, right? So this is a great view to see first which applications are the one causing the most stress events in your environment, and secondly, you can see which areas need tweaking, which areas need some enhancement. Is it I/O, is it memory, is it CPU? Everything is listed here, and this is basically an historical view over the last 2 weeks. Okay, so this is all going, I guess, beyond the real-time theme we had in the first ControlUp versions, but this is something many customers asked us to, kind of enable them 24/7 monitoring without actually looking in the console, and I think those analytics features are a great addition, right? You can quickly see what's going on. Eugene, can you show them maybe the events, like the event stuff? So Windows events, those are, as you probably know, a very important element in troubleshooting environments. So this is a great screen which shows you the top ranking events in your environment. Again, based on that, you can play with, you can show them how you can play with the, last hour, last day, highest ranking computer with the most events. You can play with this grid any way you want. It's a similar bit to the Excel pivot table concept. You can play with the time range, you can play with the group by columns and get some really valuable information. So if you're troubleshooting an issue right now and you know that a specific event is the kind of the best way, the best indication if the issue still exists, and in what kind of how common it is, this is a great screen to see that. You can use the filter, by the way, to type in a specific string. This could be an event ID. You can type in a specific event ID or a username and computer name, and it will filter all the, in this case, all the events database, and it will show you only events that contain that specific string. Okay, so very, I think, very valuable. Any question on that part, the incidents part, the viewer, how to create an incident, anything you think we should add?
You can export that to CSV, right? So a customer can then put that into a bigger report if they've got to produce a report for their boss or whatever. Yeah.
So this specific string can be exported, as Eugene just showing you right now, to a very basic Excel file. You earned that. Actually, this is a good question, because besides exporting this data, this is incidence data, it's very valuable, but in addition to that, if you go back to our main real-time views, this, I think, includes a lot of valuable data which is pretty hard to come by, especially since EdSite 5.4 with all the, we know it has a lot of issues, but it was a very comprehensive monitoring solution. And here we have, excellent data on your environment, all the way to the process level with excellent, I think, real-time counters for each metric. You can export all of this data, again, using the monitoring service. You can do 24/7 exports based on CSV files, right? So we are still not supporting a local database, but you can export all views to a local file share, and export the computer's view, the processes view, everything, and then essentially you have an unlimited historical data of your entire performance history, and some of the configuration changes, obviously, right? And it's very detailed. It's can be used in any aspect. We do provide a built-in ControlUp reporter component. You can see it there in the kind of the lower part of the screen. It's a standalone executable you can download from our website. You simply download the tool, you point it to the file, to the folder with all the exported CSV files, and you create reports. We already have some great reports. We have obviously performance-based historical reports, seeing graphs, CPU, memory, etc. We have application usage reports. We have stress reports, which are pretty great. You can see which computer, for example, in your environment has the highest amount of stress events over time. Right? So very powerful reports indeed.
There was a question, I think, hiding in one of the previous ones that we kind of skipped over.
Yep.
It was an interesting one, and would like your feedback on that, actually, is the remediation, right? So you asked whether we could actually run an action whenever something happens. So, thanks a lot. That was designed for this. So this is actually a dilemma for us, and actually, there are so many experts here, then would love your feedback actually on this. Whether you think it would be a good idea to allow ControlUp to run management actions as in reaction to
automatically
to Windows events automatically without user intervention. So we've been struggling with this. We're getting a lot of requests for that, but it sounds kind of scary sometimes.
Yeah, to make it very clear, for example, we have we can generate an incident trigger whenever iExplore.exe is consuming more than 1% CPU for more than 30 seconds. Okay, we can monitor it right now and send you an alert. The question is, should we allow an automatic remediation action, in this case, for example, kill the process or send a message or something? So far we avoided this because we don't truly, at least right now, believe in those automatic remediation processes. They can be problematic. So if you kill, the CEO browser and he's watching porn or something, this could be quite dramatic outcomes. So yeah, any feedback on this is appreciated. Do you believe in real-time remediation, automatic remediation?
How about a vote?
Yeah.
A vote?
All in favor of automatic remediation, please.
Of porn? Yeah.
So automatic remediation, like I know some folders are doing that.
So all the rest don't care.
Yeah.
Well,
that
to be chosen,
Just not enabled it.
The problem is auditing the action. So that's what most customers are going to have a problem with, who have a security issue, is you're going to take an action and you're not going to know who instigated the action that was taken because it was automated by a domain admin account or a local admin account. So I think the ability to use it, some people will find really useful, but you need to give customers the ability to completely disable it as well, because they might not want it in their enterprise.
And to audit it centrally.
And to be audited,
Maybe it would be a good idea to enable providing feedback to the user, saying that the program you were running was killed automatically by an automatic rule. Then they maybe don't get the feedback.
Yeah, so doing it automatically, but not so aggressive. Actually, this is something we are thinking of, and good you reminded me of this. I forgot this feature. So we are thinking, it's a bit scary to kill a process automatically. This could wreck, just imagine someone misconfigured a trigger and we'll start killing the Firebird service or something, or the actual Citrix services. Not good. But yeah, we do think about something like enabling a follow-up action. We have a feature called super message. The name may be a bit weird, but the actual outcome is very strong. It enables you to send a message with HTML code, HTML kind of rich text formatting, and you can allow the user to respond. And this is pretty cool because you think right now, if you allow the user to, let's say we detect a process causing issues, we can even now manually send him a super message saying, please know this, this process is causing issues. Would you like us to terminate it remotely, right? And he can respond yes or no. In this version, the yes or no will simply appear at my screen as the admin, and I will act upon it. But we can, I guess, enhance this API and allow the user to actually click on yes and actually execute something, like a script-based action, right? So listen, we found that in the background you have a WinWord process consuming a lot of memory. Can we, do you want to disable it or something? And if we click on yes, it will actually execute a script-based action, which is, kind of killing it or throttling it or something. You think it's valuable?
Yeah, the one thing I was going to say, do you have some automated way to push out to something like ServiceNow or other help desk tools?
Yeah.
So the trigger is there and then it's enabling the ticket to be logged that this has happened, you know, etc., etc. So the audit trail is somehow in play.
Very great question. And this is because we are thinking a lot about this, because obviously we have a lot of power and a lot of data, which it's pretty hard to find in other tools. And we're thinking about integration with ticketing system from two aspects. One, and this is something we already have in the beta, and I'll show it to you in the next TVC hopefully. We can, for example, let's say someone opened a ticket, a user opened a ticket, and what we are introducing a moniker system in the next release, meaning that from the ticketing window system, you see a user called test1, right, open an issue, you can click on that user, and the outcome would be ControlUp opening up automatically and focusing in the session screen on that user, immediately showing you his processes, the ability to run stuff, right? So this is this is one integration which is already in the works. Connecting ControlUp to the ticketing system and enabling it to quickly reach that part.
Introducing a tool like this into an existing kind of workflow management is quite difficult to do, but if you're able to, like you say, integrate it from ServiceNow or something like that, that it flows back into it.
So this is in the works and it will be out. ControlUp 4, by the way, is scheduled for Q3 this year, including some crazy things like what we mentioned, but the biggest thing on ControlUp 4 would be what we call hypervisor integration. So anything you've seen so far, think we are going to add the host layer, right? Zen server, ES6, all of those will be added to the real-time views, the management part. Before Alex is destroying my presentation, and just about to complete the answer about the other part. So right now it's difficult, but you can do it. You can use we have a follow-up action for incidents, which enables you to create an event log anytime an incident is captured. And obviously all monitoring solution can listen on a specific event log and get the data from that and create a ticket. So this is something we have a few customers detecting issues via this console and creating an event log based on that, and the third-party monitoring system listens to the event log and create the tickets. It's not that easy, but it would also
be good then if you could assign that to specific groups within that ticketing system. Server
so add a field like
etc.
So add fields to the incident like which group should handle this, etc. Good stuff.
Last couple.
How much time do we have, Alex?
None.
None? Just question until Alex kicks me out. Questions, yeah.
Can you put priority on these servers? So you have some with the same stress level, but these are prioritized the highest when you send it to a ticket system or to a service level agreement?
Well, not right now, but we can add like a priority field to the incident, saying that if it happened on specific servers, the priority level of the incident will be higher. This is something we need to add. Good one. Yeah, anyone? I see.
Your last question, please.
But we have more battles, Alex.
Yeah, I know. So if you would like to approach...
Yeah, last question.
Yoni, right up in the session, just say hello, Yoni, I'll have questions later and he'll give you a bottle.
Yeah.
If someone comes up and says, give me all the bottles, I have many questions, don't do it.
Don't do it. Yeah.
So you run as a single XE, so standalone XE. What happens to all this data when the XE is not running? Is there an option for running it as a service or an offline, or stuff that might happen when I'm not sat at the console?
So I mentioned before that we have the monitor service. You see that green light over there? Yep. This is a Windows computer running the kind of a backend service, which is acting like the console without the UI, continuously monitoring the environment 24/7. Right, so you don't have to look at it all the time. It's an optional component, but most enterprise deployments do use that for 24/7. One last, or that's it?
No, that's it.
That's it.
If you have questions to Yoni, thank you very much.